All right, welcome to the Nico Heischer episode 13 of Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby. Christmas Eve is tomorrow, so we are powering through.
We are caffeinating and hoping for the best.
Mm-hmm.
We got family Christmas with our crazy side of the family tonight.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
I'm going to need the power of the Holy Spirit, the caffeine, the sugar, and a little bit of booze to get us through.
Yep.
Okay, who are we talking about today?
We are talking about a few different teams, kind of. We're really talking about Utah Hockey Club and the Minnesota Wild.
I haven't heard a daggum thing about the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, that's valid.
They have not made a frequent enough guest star, if any.
I think I've guest starred them once when we talked about Pittsburgh, but they don't really have much going on. But Utah Hockey Club, because it's a new team and this is their first season, I wanted to talk about the Arizona/the Phoenix Coyotes, which is kind of the same team, not really.
All right.
So let's kick it off with them first. I'll talk Utah. Maybe it makes more sense for us to talk about Arizona first before I try to break this down.
We can do whatever you want.
We're going to go and we're actually going to talk about Phoenix.
I'm just going to sip on my sweet treat.
So, Arizona, Phoenix Coyotes, F1 equivalent, I put as Williams.
Ugh.
Yeah. They have history, but it's not great. They try their best, but they don't succeed.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
Yes, they were founded in 1972 in the WHA as the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yes.
I've heard of the Winnipeg Jets.
We're going to talk about them again, too, because there's now a new team that's the Winnipeg Jets. But this team, they never got any Stanley Cups. They never had any conference championships. They did have one division championship in 2012, and that was it.
But they do have Alex Albon, Queen of my heart.
Queen of my heart. In the WHA, they were actually one of the better teams. One of the best teams, if you will.
Objectively speaking.
They had 7 seasons in the WHA before the merger happened, and they won the Stanley Cup, or not the Stanley Cup, the Avco Cup, which is their version of the Stanley Cup, 3 out of those 7 seasons.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and they only missed the playoffs one time.
What happened?
I don't know that one time.
Where did they go wrong?
They lost the cup.
Lost everything.
And then they came over in the merger. Pre-merger, they were the only team that was really a threat to NHL teams. The rest of them were kind of, they knew they were going to have growing pains, but they were like, oh, these Winnipeg Jets might be those things. Everyone else, they weren't threats to the Canadians or the Islanders.
I don't think anyone was a threat to the Canadians at that point.
Multiple sources made a point to note that. Unfortunately, with that merger, there were so many players that teams had to give up, and they did have to give up their top 6 goal scorers.
Oh.
And they were only 18th out of the 21 teams in the draft.
But I thought they could protect 8 players and 1 goaltender. So why'd they give up their top 6?
That's different. The NHL could. The WHA, you remember if they had players that they had
that they had stolen of all time.
It was a lot. Yeah. So they had a lot of adjustments. And they played under the Winnipeg Jets for 15 seasons. 11 times they made the playoffs. They were good in the regular season, not in the playoffs. And overall, only made it past round 2 twice. They only made it to round 2 twice. They were playing in the same division as the Oilers and the Flames at the time, though.
That's hard.
Yeah, which were probably the 2 best teams in the league at that time. So it was kind of tough luck for them. And the team sold and moved to Phoenix in 1996. As a note, we talked about the Atlanta Flames last episode. There is another NHL team that came in after in Atlanta, the Atlanta Thrashers. They also didn't have much success, and they purchased the rights to the history of the Winnipeg Jets and are now the Winnipeg Jets.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? So now we're Phoenix, 1996. They had a big power forward line with some names you'll recognize. Rick Tocchet.
Yes. Oh my God, I love him.
Keith Kachuk.
No.
Papa Kachuk.
Daddy Kachuk.
Mm-hmm. And Jeremy Roenick, who you wouldn't recognize.
Yeah, I don't know him. Holy crap.
Yeah.
What a line.
That line led this team.
Was it Brady or Matthew Kachuk that got engaged recently?
Brady Kachuk's married.
So
Matthew Kachuk's been engaged. I don't know if they're married or not yet.
I could have sworn. I'm just new here. I thought he just got engaged.
No. He was engaged during the Stanley Cup win, at least because she had a fat diamond on her hand.
As she should.
As she should.
Oh, I hope it weighs down her hand.
Yeah, me too.
That's the type of rock she deserves.
Her shoulder's gonna be a little sore.
You gotta do weights.
She deserves
at least 4 days a week.
She doesn't need weights. She just has that. They had some decent success in their early years in Phoenix. Made the playoffs 5 out of 6 times, but again, never passed round 1. So
a lot of teams don't.
It's true. Skipping to 2001, their arena sucked.
Trash.
Terrible. Sucked. And Burke, who was the owner, actually bought out a different majority owner of the team and wasn't able to find an investor to fill that gap. He wanted that guy gone, but he didn't have someone to take his place. So then, of course, he couldn't handle all of that. So he sold the team to Steve Ellman and Wayne Gretzky as majority owners.
Wayne Gretzky? I did not know that man had a team.
So,
girl, talk about walking into a good deal.
Right? So Wayne Gretzky actually was majority owner and head of hockey operations.
Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah. It didn't really change anything for their success, though.
I would never shut up about that, though.
I know. But in the 2005-2006 season, Wayne Gretzky named himself head coach despite having never coached before.
I mean, I'm happy to learn from the great one. I'm not a great one. No. So you need to dumb it down like you're talking to a toddler. That's how I need you to teach it to me, baby.
Which, here's another fun fact that I didn't know, but honestly makes sense. When Gretzky retired, every single team in the NHL retired his jersey.
And they better do the same for Sydney.
Yeah. 100%.
That's exactly what I'm expecting.
They 100% should do that for Sydney. Are you kidding me?
I feel like I'll cry when Sidney Crosby retires.
I will. I could cry thinking about it.
Not on the outside, just on the inside.
It'll be on the outside for me.
My heart will hurt.
Everything will hurt.
I might tear up.
I'll throw myself down the stairs.
It might be a Pato incident where I just feel it too strongly and I have to go just hop on the treadmill, run away the pain.
I need a warning before you bring up Pato.
Pato and Indy 500 is the most
toxic relationship.
Top 5 most traumatic things that I've ever been, unfortunately, a part of.
Mm-hmm. Wayne Gretzky did step down as head coach in 2009 to get us back on track. But in 2007, the CEO announced that the general manager, the senior vice president of hockey operations, the assistant general manager were all relieved of duties, aka fired.
Wait, assistant? Not Wayne?
Not Wayne. Ooh. No, you're not firing Wayne Gretzky.
Also, from how was he as a anything.
Coach? I mean, they still didn't have success.
But did the players like him?
There's not much that says it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And in 2009, they had some financial problems, if you will.
As old as time.
Yeah, because they weren't good. They didn't have a lot of fan attendance. They were barely winning. And in such an amount of debt that the NHL had taken over paying the team's bills. Apparently, they had secretly given up operations to the league.
Why didn't they just Calgary Flames it and just be like, hey, if y'all don't want us, we're going to leave?
Because they didn't have the fans to do so. Calgary, the fans were like...
No one was going to Calgary either.
Yeah, but they knew that they still had a following because they once were the hardest team to get tickets for. They never had a following majorly.
I would have followed for Wayne Gretzky alone.
100%.
I would have been like, I don't care what this
But
team
he
does.
also resigned in 2009 as head coach.
Well, then, yeah, I would be like, fuck it. Not. Nobody wants to watch losers. I've said it time and time again. Nobody likes Alpine.
No. They actually had a lot of time in courts going over hearings and stuff to figure out the fate of that team, and the NHL put in a bid to own it, which was granted, and then a couple other people tried to put in bids to buy it from the NHL, but so many failed. Literally 6 different people put in bids to own this team, and they all fell through.
Why?
Just for a number of different reasons. Some people didn't have the appropriate funds. Some people just backed out. Other people, they didn't have an arena. Like, it just wasn't working. So they stayed in bankruptcy until 2013.
Oh my gosh.
When Renaissance Sports and Entertainment purchased them. And they became the Arizona Coyotes.
So were they playing at all? Or
yeah, they were still playing. The NHL was just
paying their salary?
Yeah.
I bet a bunch of other players got fined so that the NHL could keep this team going.
They said, suddenly everybody's getting fined.
Slashing!
Slashing! It's an illegal elbow. $30,000.
Give it to me.
Don't ask for an invoice.
We don't take checks here.
No, cash.
Cash or credit.
Cash or credit. Yeah. They became known as the Arizona Coyotes. In June of 2014, a PR firm actually sued Arizona Ice, who was a partial owner of the team. They were alleging that they had reneged a sponsorship deal worth $250,000. A Coyotes spokesperson came out and called it a $250,000 scheme. However, Arizona Ice did enter a deal to sell 51% controlling interest to Andrew Barroway, who had failed to purchase the team from the Islanders, to kind of help save the team from all of that was going on. So it was a win-win. They didn't fully go bankrupt again, only a year after coming out of bankruptcy.
Look at him.
And Andrew Barroway, who had wanted to purchase a team, got a majority interest. He actually ended up buying back the rest of the ownership, like complete ownership of it, in 2016. Yeah. In 2016, they also hired... Oh, this is a shout out.
What does he do?
Own a team.
He's not a coin collector, I'll tell you that.
No, he is not a coin collector. Not at all. In 2016, they actually hired Dawn Braid as their skating coach. The first female full-time coach in the NHL.
Yeah!
I know. I love to see it.
Ow!
In 2019, Barroway sells controlling interest to a local billionaire, Alex Marilou.
How do you just have a local billionaire?
Wait, it gets worse. He does that. He is then arrested.
The local billionaire?
Barroway is then arrested in 2023 for assault and domestic violence, leaving Marilou as the sole owner of the team.
Oh, he a piece of shit.
He pleaded...
I don't care what he does.
Yeah, the prosecutors ended up filing a motion to dismiss, but the NHL, regardless, banned him from the league.
Period. Get that shit out of here. They learned from that assistant coach that sexually assaulted the players and said, nah, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, literally, get out.
Not having a repeat.
No.
We will not protect you.
To go back.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I like to see it. Honestly, snaps.
On the opposite end of something, well, no, this is kind of in favor of the NHL too. In 2020, they drafted a player, Mitchell Miller, who was super controversial because he had just come under fire in allegations of bullying and discriminating against an African-American classmate who had a learning disability.
Oh, fuck you, bro.
Yeah, they drafted him. People were like, what the frick? And then his draft rights were actually soon renounced.
Good.
Yeah. 2021, they were told that they would be locked out of their arena if they did not pay the $1.3 million that they owed in taxes.
I just picture them running to the Penguins and being like, I know you've gone through this. What do we do?
This is the crazy part to me. As somebody who works with taxes, this is insane to me. They paid that bill the next day.
What? How?
Claiming,
you just had it laying around?
No, claiming that it was an unfortunate human error.
No.
The way that I would never, ever show my face in public if I was that human that forgot to pay $1.3 million in taxes. But also, if they're going to put a lien on your assets, they've notified you prior.
A human error is you got a new credit card and forgot to update it in your, like, power or water bill. I've done that.
That is
That's
ridiculous.
not what I would call a simple human error.
I don't think
Did they just, like, get those piece of papers in, like, bold and size 72 that were like, we're gonna close your doors. This is your final warning.
I don't know who did what. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know who did it, but
I want names.
I want to throw up. Like, I would quit my job and move to a different country.
That's a really big fail.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, just like you said, that comes with multiple warnings. That's not just like a simple, like, one time, oh, I didn't realize it was going to be this big of a deal. No, it comes with at least a few, like, hey, get your shit together.
Which I would get it too if they didn't have as big of a warning because they previously had bankruptcy. They were kind of like, we got to be for real about this. But still, that's a big human error to make. Mm-hmm. 2023, they actually proposed to build a new arena. The residents of the city rejected that proposal.
Said nar.
Because it was estimated to cost $2.1 billion.
Babe, they just threatened to lock your door. Where are you going to get this money from?
$1.9 million was privately funded.
To pay for some losers?
I know! And in 2024... they kind of knew they needed to move somewhere else. And after proposing multiple different strategies to the NHL did give them permission to move to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah.
But because there were obviously financial concerns and additional concerns because there wasn't a specific arena, the NHL actually bought the franchise and then resold it to Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
So that they would have the arena to play in. They knew that he had the finances to do it. And now they're Utah Hockey Club.
What an origin story.
I know. Overall, they had 28 seasons, missed the playoffs 18 times, 11 out of their last 12 seasons, actually.
Well, they couldn't even pay the bills. I'm not expecting you to go to playoffs if you can't even pay your own salary.
Yeah. They only made it past round one time where they actually went to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Kings before losing.
What?
Yeah. I said I hate that their history doesn't actually consist of much hockey, but...
oh, it brings the tea.
I mean, that's...
all the tea.
Their history isn't really about their hockey. It's about the team and their finances and struggles and stuff.
So chaotic. Hey, if you can't be good at history, be good at drama. No. If you can't be good at hockey, be good at drama.
Yeah. I do have some notable things to talk about them. In their last game, fans actually chanted Salt Lake sucks throughout the game. And they won 5-2 versus the Oilers.
Were they playing at home or in Edmonton? Mm-hmm. Their home team was saying, y'all suck.
Was saying Salt Lake sucks because they didn't want them to move. They were pissed that the team was moving to Salt Lake.
Okay. That's the context I was missing. I was like, you're in Salt... I don't understand how that is supporting your team.
I was like,
also,
I don't know how else
y'all didn't want to come, so you don't get to complain.
That's the thing to me.
You should be thanking God you even have a team.
Yeah.
Because some people... would give up organs to get a team. Just the ones you don't really need.
I only need one kidney.
You really don't understand the context of what you're saying. I'm going to let you substitute kidney with, I don't even need a spleen.
I don't even need a spleen or gallbladder.
Again, you're going to want to walk that one back. Let's just stick with the spleen.
I don't need a spleen.
I think you're getting gallbladder and appendix
Who needs 2 eyeballs?
I think Abby's willing to give up more than I am, actually.
Yeah, I'm not willing to give up an eye.
I'll let you cut off an ear, though. I'd lose an ear.
Oh, okay.
Just one.
So...
I've got thick... No, I don't have thick hair, but I have long hair.
Yeah, you do. It's true.
How would they know? Maybe I don't have any ears currently. Hence the toboggan. Maybe the team is in the works already.
2026.
Merry Christmas to me and me only. This is what happens when I get to properly sleep and eat and have coffee before we record.
Yeah. Keith Kachuk.
Yeah, Daddy Kachuk!
He actually played for the original Winnipeg Jets and then came into the Coyotes as well. So he played from 1992 to 2001. He holds the team records for the most goals in a season and the most points in a season and was captain during his entire time with the Coyotes.
Amazing.
A lot of people say, and I think I've said this.
No one's doing it like him. One of a kind.
I know. I think I said this in the Kachuk Brothers episode, aka the Senators and Panthers.
That was one of our most popular episodes, too.
That was. That a lot of people refer to him as, like, the greatest hockey player that's never going to be in the Hall of Fame.
But, like, can we just give him
he was incredible
to his son, Stanley, that he got? Like, he held that thing, right?
The Kachuk name is on a cup.
The Kachuk name is on it. Let's round it up to include Keith.
Yeah, 100%. Let's just scratch off the M and put a K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like this video if you think Keith Kachuk should be added in the Hall of Fame on the ground that his last name is on a Stanley Cup.
100%.
And honestly, half of those kids are his, DNA-wise. So technically, his DNA runs in their body, and, you know, he got that Stanley Cup.
I was really wondering how you were tying that back in. A couple more things. So they moved arenas at some point in time. In the move to Mullet Arena, Shane Doan's number had been retired previously, and they had a banner up. That banner went missing, and it was actually rediscovered by a local fan, aka someone took it.
Yeah.
It was rediscovered by a local fan and gifted to Shane before the last game at the franchise, or of the franchise. So they had
gifted? You mean returned? I got you a present. It's something I stole from you.
Oh my gosh, here's something to Alex Morello, the guy that accidentally inherited the whole team when he went to prison.
I hate it when that happens.
I know.
I hate it when the local billionaire inherits an entire NHL team.
The Board of Governors actually still owns the rights to the branding of the Coyotes, their history, all of that. He had been given a 5-year window at the end of that franchise to build or locate a new arena to put a team in and reactivate the Coyotes in that team. It would be an expansion team, but they would still have the history. But in June, he actually told his staff that he had no further plans to find a new arena or anything and gave up those rights to the NHL.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think he didn't really know what he was getting into.
I mean, he didn't intend to get into all of that.
And then we have the Utah Hockey Club, F1 equivalent, but as Audi because they're brand new, no notes.
Mm-hmm.
Founded this year, owned by Smith Entertainment Group, a.k.a.
Ryan and Ashley.
Yes. They also own the Utah Jazz. Current general manager, Bill Armstrong. Current coach, Andre Tierney. No Stanley Cups, no conference, no division. We know all of this. They are considered a completely new team because Ryan Smith paid a $1.2 billion expansion fee.
I wouldn't want to be associated with any of that either.
Mm-mm. So
I would only claim Kachuk and who else was on the power play?
Rick Tocchet.
Rick Tocchet.
So Ryan Smith actually acquired all hockey assets of the team. So players, coaching staff, and draft picks.
Good for him.
And in their move, they retained 90% of their employees.
Dang.
I think the only people that they didn't retain, there was one person that didn't come over and some other people retired. But a lot of their players are the same exact people. In their first preseason game, they beat St. Louis 5-3, and in their first home game, they beat the Kings 3-2. Their name
Good for them. Way to start out strong.
Right. Their name and general identity are expected to change because the Utah Hockey Club...
It doesn't really...
Yeah. It was just kind of a filler because they wanted to take this season to develop all of that and then launch a new name or whatever next year. Jazz Bear is the mascot of the Utah Jazz, and he's also filling in as their mascot for now as well. I do want to talk about one player, Clayton Keller, who was drafted 7th overall by Arizona. He is the hockey club's first franchise captain. They named him pretty immediately. He did play for years with Arizona. In college, he won the Hockey East Rookie of the Year, the Hockey East second All-Star team, and was a part of the Hockey East All-Rookie team that won gold.
Just like Celebrini.
Yeah.
So he's good.
He's pretty good. He seems like a sweet kid, too.
How old is he?
I mean, he's older than me. He's like 26. A sweet kid.
He's my age. I read it as America's Sweetheart, but it says America Ice Hockey Forward. I don't know where
America's
I got
Sweetheart
that from.
works, too.
He is 26. Mm-hmm. He is not a Libra.
Oh, bummer.
You know. He does look very nice. He's got a good head of hair, and he's got strong eyebrows.
He does have strong eyebrows. Yeah, they also have John Marino, who played for the Devils.
I mean, he looks nice in the way of, like, he looks like,
kind.
friendly, kind.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Like, what a baddie.
They also have John Marino, who played for the Devils for a long time.
Yeah, I know him.
Who's out. He had to have back surgery.
Oh.
It was a minor one, but he's going to be out he's still out now. They don't really, it's like month to month kind of thing. Okay.
All right.
Minnesota Wild.
That's such a good name. I'm so sorry. I love that
No, I
name.
do love it too.
I can see in my head, what are their colors?
Green, white, and red.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's basically exactly what I was picturing.
No, it's perfect.
Ooh, that fits really well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Wild.
F1 equivalent, Haas. I said they're not superstars, but they are still there. There isn't anything major that stands out with them, and they always think that they're going to be better than they are. But their media, like their social media team is great, and they know what the people want to see. I also said I wanted to say Cadillac because I'm not really thinking about them at all.
I like Cadillac more than Haas.
Cadillac.
Honestly, Haas doesn't have great socials.
They post the cutest videos of K-Mag and his daughter. But
that's not socials. Kick Sauber has good socials.
Kick Sauber does have good socials, but they're not.
Williams has good socials. They've got a whole friggin' podcast.
Dude, that's the best thing that they did.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
They should just stop racing and just focus on the podcast.
If they gave half the energy that they give to this podcast to the car they develop, Alex Albon could get on a friggin' podium.
Yeah. So we'll say Cadillac then, because I don't really think about them. But their social media, I watch every single thing. It's so good. It's probably my favorite NHL social media account.
If you're not going to be that good, you got to have good socials.
Yeah.
Because I can support a team that's not that good. Hello, Vancouver. Love them. It's not going well for us now.
No, it's not.
But the reason I love teams is because I love the players.
Yeah.
Or I love, like, the whole vibe.
No, 100%.
If you don't have good socials, I can't connect with you. You can be freaking capitaling it up and just destroying everyone, and I don't know you.
Yeah.
Cadillac it is.
Cadillac it is. Founded in 1997, but began play in 2000. So they're
pretty recent.
Pretty recent in the grand scheme of things. They have not won any cups or conference championships, but they have won one division championship in 2008.
That's all they've done?
Yes, queen. So, you know the whole Minnesota North Stars situation?
Yes, I loved them.
They left Minnesota in 1993 to go down to Dallas. And their mayor, who was actually their future U.S. senator, was trying really hard to get a different team into Minnesota, whether it's an expansion team or having someone else move. It's kind of like us for Birmingham right now.
Mayor Woodfin, please.
Yeah. And
I get it. You're worried about gun violence and crime because...
Yeah,
fair. But I'm worried about the NHL team I want.
Yeah, but I feel like there's teams in more dangerous cities. Chicago. For
sure. Chicago.
Vancouver after a Game 7 Stanley Cup final. The mid-90s, they actually purchased the interests to the original Winnipeg Jets and planned to move it to Minnesota, but that fell through. And in 1997, the NHL finally granted them an expansion franchise to begin play in 2000. They granted 6 different expansion franchises at that time. Mm-hmm. So, perfect. The state of Minnesota actually adopted legislation to loan $65 million to the city of St. Paul, where they are located, in order to fund 50% of the projected costs to build an arena.
They said, we're going to make this as easy as humanly possible.
Yeah.
The whole state has got your back.
They only required that $48 million of it would be repaid if they came into a leasing agreement with the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, which they did, a 26-year agreement.
I mean, I feel like that's more than fair.
100%.
That's very generous.
100%. And they had their first season in 2000-2001. They drafted Marian Gaborik 3rd overall in the 2000 NHL entry draft. He scored the first franchise goal in their first game versus Anaheim.
They got to play Anaheim as their first game?
Yeah. And their first home game, they retired the jersey number 1 for their fans, who the team claims is the true number 1 of the team, which I'm kind of like, that's cheesy.
That is so cute. That is so cringy, but so cute.
So cringy.
They said, we saw the power that the fans have in Calgary, and we ain't trying to bungle this up.
Yeah. Their first home game versus Dallas, the Wild won in a 6-0 shootout in front of a sold-out crowd.
A shootout? Mm-hmm. I've only seen like one.
Shut out.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't understand.
They did, however, finish with just 25 wins that season, last in their division.
But it's their first year.
Yeah. In the 01-02 season, they finished last again. They showed signs of improvement, but not enough. And in the 02-03 season, they had one of the higher scoring teams in the first half of the season before falling into a slump. They made the playoffs for the first time, beating Colorado in round 1 in 7 games after being down 3-1.
Wow.
Yeah. In round 2, they would do the same thing, go down 3-1 against Vancouver before coming back and winning the series. And they would make the conference finals against Anaheim. They would lose.
Them.
No, they were swept.
Just kidding.
Yeah. 2003-2004, they struggled. They missed the playoffs. 2004-2005 lockout season. In that lockout season, actually, Sergei Zoltok, who was a former Wild player, actually died from a heart condition during a game in Europe.
During a game?
Yes. He had previously had heart problems. During the 2004-2005 lockout, a lot of NHL players played a season in Europe just to continue to compete and not lose that edge. And he did as well. He experienced a cardiac arrhythmia and left the game with 5 minutes to go, made it down to the dressing room before collapsing and dying in the arms of also a former Wild, Darby Hendrickson.
He died in his arms? Mm-hmm. You didn't even give me a warning.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. There wasn't a, do you want to hear something sad?
Hey, do you want to hear something sad? Yeah. Are you good? Do you need a minute?
I do need a minute.
Okay.
Oh. You just glossed right over that.
Mm-hmm. I did, didn't I?
He died in his teammate's arms.
Yeah, he was 31.
A baby. A young man. Was he married?
Mm-hmm. He had 2 kids as well.
Oh my God. How old?
It just says young. Yeah.
And they probably weren't even there. I could cry.
They probably were there.
Okay. That is so upsetting. Did his friend play hockey after that? I'm saying his friend. Did his teammate play hockey after that?
Yes. He spent 2 seasons in a different league before he left that European team after his death, played for 2 seasons in a different league before retiring.
Yeah, I would have, no. Simply, no. If a coworker's dying in my arms, I'm leaving the hospital. I'm probably leaving the profession. I'm doing what I should have done during COVID and just freaking left and done something different.
Yeah.
Instead of doubling down and getting hella traumatized. Thank you, U.S. American healthcare system.
Woo.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Next time a warning would be nice, because that thoroughly rocked me to my core.
I'm sorry.
And then you were like, so anyways.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I should have given you a warning. That should be the only
that is
sad
so
thing.
Deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue, shall we?
We shall. 2005-2006 season. 2005-2006 season. Marian Gaborik sets the franchise record for goals at 38 that season, which seems
yeah.
I was about to say, it seems kind of low, but they're also a new and struggling team, so it's fine.
Let them have it, okay?
They still finished last in the division.
Yikes.
The following season, they had a lot of injuries, including Marian and different goalies. Marian returned and helped the team turn around and make the playoffs before being eliminated in round 2 versus Anaheim. They hate to see Anaheim in the playoffs.
I didn't know Anaheim had that dog in them like that. I don't remember feeling
they got a
like
bigger
that
dog than Minnesota does.
Whoa.
2007-2008, Marian broke his own record, scoring 42 goals and having 83 points that season. They went and won the division title in a 3-1 win over Calgary in round 1. Before losing in round 2 in 6 games to Anaheim.
I knew it. Anaheim said, first of all, no, I'm going to stop you right there.
No.
Ooh, no. I'm sorry. That's not included in your package.
To upgrade, you have to get the fuck out of here.
You're going to leave now. Are you new here? You look new.
2008-2009, they missed the playoffs. Majority due to the fact that Marian was injured and only played 17 games that season.
Marian holding the team on his back.
Yeah, their head coach resigned. It was the same head coach that had been there since the start of the franchise. Their general manager was fired, and they pretty much had a complete coaching and management turnover.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's more than enough time for them to have put it together a little bit more.
Marian signed a contract with the Rangers in the offseason. And left.
Freaking Rangers, man. It's been really nice to kind of see them fall apart.
It has.
Like, I'm first and foremost a petty bitch when it comes to my enemies, and this is like a Christmas feast.
I'm not mad at it at all. They missed the 2010, 2011, and 2012 playoffs, and in the 2012-2013 season, I said trading was their day job. But
that's never a good sign.
No, but they did make the playoffs and lost in round 1 to the Blackhawks.
Oh, not Anaheim for once.
I know.
Look at that.
At this point, the divisions actually realigned because NHL had accumulated so many other teams, so they got placed in different divisions. Thank God. 13-14 season. Best team for that franchise at the time since the 08 season where they won that division title. Josh Hartley, who's a goalie, actually led the NHL in save percentage and goals against average. He was then placed on injury reserve. They started 5 different goalies. I said it's giving the Canes this season.
It is giving the Canes.
But they made the playoffs.
But, I mean, what are you to do? Like,
yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
When it rains, it pours. They made the playoffs.
Let it rain, let it pour. You can't play here anymore. Get the fuck on injury reserve.
They beat Colorado in round 1.
Nice.
Before losing to Chicago in round 2.
Chicago's their new Anaheim. Got it.
Yep. 2014 through 2015, they make the playoffs again. Beat the Blues in round 1. Swept by Chicago in round 2.
Yep.
Yes. 2015-2016, they had the worst record of any team that ever made the playoffs.
What was it?
But they still made it. That was weird because they also still had ties back then. So I didn't list it because I was like...
Ties?
I know.
What is this, elementary school flag football?
Know. Yeah.
No, we got winners and losers.
Yeah, but they made the playoffs. before losing in round 1 to Dallas.
Ooh.
Yes. In the offseason, they signed Eric Stahl, Jordan Stahl's brother.
Yes, I recall.
To a 3-season contract and hired a new head coach.
Cute.
2016, 2017, they set a new franchise record for points in a season with 106. They had 49 wins and 226 goals.
Wow. They not only broke 100, they broke 200.
Eric Stahl led the team in goals with 28 of those. They also had
to see a Stahl on a team.
They also had a 12-game win streak that was snapped on New Year's Eve. They made the playoffs.
Yikes.
And were swept in round 1 by the Blues.
Oh, interesting. They normally beat them.
Yeah. They had a lot of player turnaround in the offseason, partially due to the Vegas expansion draft happening at that time.
Yeah.
Their captain was sent to Vegas as well in this, as well as Eric Holla, who played for them and went to Vegas.
Eric Holla was here?
Very brief.
I love that man.
Love that man. That's our diva.
I'm a Holla apologist.
Yeah, you are. 2018.
Your Honor, he didn't mean it. He was also in the right.
2018, they had another 100-point season, lost in round 1 again to the Jets. General manager was fired. They had never gotten past round 2 of the playoffs under his reign. And they entered a rebuild as it seemed like it was time. And in the 2018-2019 season, their division was super competitive and they just couldn't keep up. They also had multiple reports of players not getting along, which led to quite a few players being traded.
Interesting.
They finished last in their division, missed the playoffs. General manager was fired.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the players get along? Like, it's your job. But I'm also like, you got to have that chemistry to be good on ice, I think.
100%. I agree.
Interesting.
Yeah. 2019-2020, they didn't qualify for the playoffs. COVID hit. They fired their head coach. 2020-2021. So they had drafted Kirill Kaprizov previously in 2015. But he didn't begin play because he played in the KHL in Russia for multiple years. He began playing in the NHL that season, the 2020-2021 season. Came in, scored the overtime winner against the Kings. They re-signed him at the end of that season as well in 2021. He became the highest paid sophomore player in the league.
Look at him go.
Yes.
Get that bag.
He is so funny, too.
Yes. I love a good personality.
He's just got such a dry sense of humor. I love it.
Yes, I love a dry sense of humor.
2021-2022, they showed a lot of improvement. They had 113 points and 53 wins that season.
Good for them.
Kaprizov had 108 points, consisting of 47 goals and 61 assists. They also acquired Marc-Andre Fleury. Yes. They made the playoffs, losing in round 1 to the Blues. They had a lot more postseason trades. 2022-2023, they finished with 103 points, losing in round 1 to Dallas.
Wow.
Their 8th consecutive playoff series loss.
I mean, they're not that good.
Yeah. And then the last season, they had injuries to, quote, nearly every single player.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does that happen? They just have a bunch of veterans?
They just had people getting injured.
I mean, it's a long season, I get that. It is. But
they finished with just 87 points and missed the playoffs. They aren't doing too bad this season. Their record at the time that we're filming this is 20-10-4.
They've won more games than freaking Vancouver has.
Yeah, they're not too bad. Marc-Andre Fleury is actually retiring at the end of the season.
I know.
Yeah. They asked Marcus Foligno, who is one of their alternate captains on the team. They asked him about their position currently in the conference, and he said, quote, "I would rather be in this position than Buffalo's, so it's not that bad."
I mean, yeah. I think everyone can agree with that. It's harsh, but it's true.
Yes.
He's so funny for that. It can always get worser unless you're Buffalo.
Could always be worse.
What is their record?
I just read it to you.
No. buffalo right now.
I was like, I literally just
read that. Buffalo Sabres.
Turn around.
Please get your shit together. Yeah, 11-19-4 is the Sabres record right now.
Could be worse.
It could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
It could definitely be worse because the Predators are 10-17-7, so they're right there with them.
Yeah.
Those are the two that I think are like the worst in the league right now that I'm aware of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can look at the standings. You have the ESPN app, don't you?
Yeah, I know, but I am Gen Z in many ways. I am millennial in the way that I will always turn to Google first.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Kirill Kaprizov, just a couple more things about him. I said, he is a character. I am obsessed.
Tell me more.
He won the Calder Rookie of the Year award in 2021 and is the second Wild player to do so.
Mm-hmm.
He is also nicknamed Dollar Bill Kirill.
Why?
Just for shits and gigs. I also said an honorable mention of players is Marco Rossi. You saw that video it was last week, I think. Matthew Tkachuk's holding a player and like pulling at him in between.
The eye roll?
He just rolls his eyes so dramatically. Yes, that's him.
I didn't know who that man was. I love him.
So I gave him an honorable mention.
What's his name again?
Marco Rossi.
He's a Libra. I knew it.
Oh, that tracks.
September 23rd. Libra season is like late September, but I can never remember where. He's a Libra, of course.
That tracks.
Everything makes sense. I love a Libra.
Yeah. They've made the playoffs 13 out of 23 seasons. Never very successful in it, though.
Fair.
I've already said they have the best social media content, in my opinion, of the league. Their logo is a wild animal. It's not necessarily a bear. I thought it was a bear. They just say it's a wild animal. They have a whole backstory behind it. But it's a wild animal. The eye of it is meant to resemble the North Star in honor of the previous Minnesota team.
I love that.
And the mouth is meant to resemble the Mississippi River, which starts in Minnesota. Their mascot's also a wild animal. What were you going to say?
I don't understand what they mean by a wild animal, so I'm going to look it up.
It literally just looks like a bear. Just look up their logo.
I am. Minnesota.
Take a shot for every time Lauren Googles something this episode.
Bro, I don't know what you want me to say.
No, it's fine. It's just funny to me.
It does look like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Rawr. That's not the noise a bear makes. Take a shot for every time that I've made Abby almost choke from just being myself.
I'm so sorry, but if I'm in the wilderness, if I'm in bear territory and I hear a bear go, "Rawr!"
First of all,
that is the least intimidating. That is so funny. Rawr!
You know the bear thing? If it's brown, sit down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, follow the light because your ass is dead. That's more important than the type of rawr that they give you.
Rawr. You said you know the bear thing?
Everyone knows the bear thing. Not everyone, but most people.
Their mascot is also a wild animal.
Rawr. Rawr. I'm hungry with a snack. Just came out of hibernation. I'm a bit snackish, if you will. Love some apps if you have time.
They have come. Okay, this is the last thing I have to say. Their mascot's name is Nordy.
You're telling me their mascot's name is Nordy and he doesn't go rawr.
Their mascot definitely looks like he'd go rawr.
Yes.
They have a whole fictional backstory for him. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I love this stuff. I haven't heard anything like this since Jersey. Tell me all of
it. A wild animal born in the North Woods of Iron Range, Nordy was found skating the frozen lakes and ponds near Evelyn, Minnesota. Sorry, I had to remember what state we were in. While no one truly knows what sort of wild animal he is, it is clear that Nordy encompasses the true spirit of the wild. So in 2008, Nordy proudly accepted the offer to become the mascot for the Minnesota Wild. He stays true to his up northy roots, but has moved into his own lair and XL Energy Center.
Period.
So he can be closer to his favorite hockey team. Nordy wears the number 18,001 to
a massive number to wear
to represent his place as a member of the team of 18,000, aka the amount of people they can fit into the arena. To date, he has the largest number ever allowed on an NHL jersey.
Wow.
Nordy lives for hockey and is one of the last players to still sport his hockey hair mullet.
Period.
Nordy is strong and rugged, but huggable and fun-loving. He loves
the man I'm looking for.
He loves to visit kids and get high fives, but be careful. He can be a rascal and play jokes on anybody.
They use
that is
rascal
better
to describe him, and I know for a fact that Nordy goes rawr.
Rawr. I
love that.
That is better written than most men's dating profiles. I would argue all men.
I might have to be a fan of them.
That's what I'm like.
The lore.
They're good. Like the vibes are vibing.
I'm a number one hater of mascots, but that's because it doesn't make sense. I love
a backstory.
No notes.
I need to see if I can find backstories of other mascots.
Don't waste your time. I don't care.
The Jersey Devil will still be the best backstory, but that was great. I love that they just were like, oh, it'd be fun if we create a backstory.
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Nordy told me everything.
It could not be more different than when she was pregnant with her 13th child. She said it'd be the devil.
Yeah, lucky number 13, bitches.
Yeah.
I love it. Actually, no, I love Minnesota. I think I have to watch a couple of their games. Yeah. But, I can't truly love them because I already have Vancouver in my heart, and they're already putting me through it, and I really can't do any more than I'm already doing in terms of losing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch them.
Yeah.
I figure I will love them.
I like their jerseys. Well, I like one of their jerseys. Their white jerseys, I think, are ugly, but their green ones are nice.
Nothing's as ugly as whatever team it is that's got that, god-awful mustard yellow thing.
Nashville's jerseys are the worst jerseys in the league. I hate them.
Atrocious behavior.
It's the shade of yellow. It's terrible, but
I like them both.
Okay.
Anything else to add?
No, I love Utah.
I know. I can't wait to see what Utah comes out as their
next
name.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm glad that they have a team that's somewhat competitive.
Yeah, me too.
That they haven't had in a while. Some would argue colors? Ever. Blue, like this color, a little bit lighter than this color blue.
Like a sky blue?
Yeah, black and white.
Oh, yeah. There's really, the bar is the limit.
Yeah. The bar is the limit? The bar is in hell.
The bar is the limit for me. Because once I'm hitting the bar, I'm not doing anything else.
Let's not exceed expectations here, guys.
No.
We're going to do the bare minimum.
Have you ever heard of batting in the middle? Someone's got to be mid.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be great.
No.
I'm happy to be the bar.
Yeah.
We don't need to raise it. We're certainly not going to lower it. We're just going to meet it. See what happens.
Fair.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in for episode 13, aka Nico Heischer episode, which I have come up with in my head.
She's actually not coining it. Do you coin that phrase? Just ignore me.
Trademark it?
Trademarking it.
Maybe. Patent, definitely. That's an idea. This is just a
Patents are really expensive. It's a Laurenism, for sure.
Okay, Merry Christmas. It's in 2 days. At the time that this will release, it'll be like New Year's.
I spent a lot of money this year.
But it was worth it.
It was 100% worth it.
We got to go so many places and see so many things.
Yeah.
And experience.
Yeah.
As Kylie Jenner said.
What is Kylie?
I'm gonna play it.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
I just want to experience things or something like that.
Experience it. You always say I want to experience things, but I don't think you actually want to experience things because you would experience it if you wanted to experience things. I don't know what you're talking about.
I couldn't tell if that was Kylie or Kendall. Their voices sounded so similar.
That was Kendall talking to Kylie. I mean, our voices, I think, sound similar. I don't know. You've got a much cuter voice than I do. I'm pretty monotone.
You're very monotone.
I try and inject some energy into it, but I don't think that really comes across.
Okay. Well,
let me know if you can tell that I try to inject some energy into my voice. That's all for now.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. See you next year.